Yeah, welcome everybody to episode number 5 of Lost in Transmission. You know, it's actually episode number 4 tonight, but I didn't want to change the flyer to number 4, so I kept it at number 5. Not that it matters. So what's up, James?
Not much. What's up, Chris?
I'm trying to pick up everything that is knocked on the floor. It's all your fault, man.
And what do those items consist of?
Candy. I knocked a bunch of peppermints on the floor. Yeah, I was feeling kind of nauseous, and peppermints kind of help nausea. So I went and grabbed some peppermints. It didn't really work. And Red Bull probably doesn't help, so I can't imagine that's too good on the stomach.
I don't know. We'd have to ask Corey.
Yeah, you know, and I don't drink Red Bull except on Friday nights now. 10 o'clock. I start at 7 o'clock over where you are. It's 10 o'clock here. Plus, I worked all day, so beat. Woo, Friday night. So, anyway, man.
Yeah.
As far as news, I'm not up to date on anything. I don't know about you.
Well, I have watched the news today, and they're all talking about terror in California, about the San Bernardino thing.
Yeah. Yeah, did you hear that song I played at the beginning? Did you catch that?
No, only the tail end.
Well, all right. Anyway. I played that Eagles of Death Metal song that you posted. I got one of my posts. I don't remember the name of it. It's about San Bernardino. That is kind of weird, isn't it? Is that why you posted that? Was you being sarcastic? A weird connection there?
I don't know. The FBI Los Angeles is saying that they're investigating it as terrorism. Then the family comes out with an attorney a little while ago, gave a press conference, and was saying that, oh no, he was trying to play like both a race and a bully card, he was being discriminated against at his workplace, and they were making fun of him and taunting him over his beard because they'd asked him to trim his beard, not like shave it off, but just trim it because I guess it was a foot long and they wanted it down to 6 inches or something. I don't know.
Right.
And so he went all Akbar on him, and with his Saudi Arabian burqa-wearing wife. So yeah, I'd call that terrorism.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, man, I don't know what the heck's going on. We have this stuff going on so much, dude. Like I was telling somebody. Well, I posted something. Did you see that? You probably didn't catch it. The Ben Swan, I wish I had it up right now. Ben Swan posted something. I don't know if it was one of his reality checks or whatever it was. About there's a statistic of, I don't know what the number is. I know it's 300 and something for mass shootings this year. It was like 300 and I don't know. It was 300 and something. But then it went on to tell like the figures, how they came up with the figures, and some of the figures are incidents like a BB gun incident. So they were like throwing like these little like BB gun incidents when it was like nobody died or anything, and they put it in the statistics of mass shootings because someone, like some kid or someone, shot at some other kids with a BB gun or something like that. So they include that in the statistics, which isn't surprising.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd throw that out there. That's about really the only thing that I've paid attention to.
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with guns. I think it has to do with radicalized Muslimism.
No. Definitely. Yeah, man. Hey, we have a caller.
Cool.
Can we answer?
Sure.
Maybe this caller has some news for us. Hello, caller.
No,
You got some...
no news.
No?
Just a radical Muslim.
Oh, cool.
Oh, so we have a radical Muslim on the line.
From L.A., or where are you calling from, radical Muslim?
I am going to Saudi Arabia to get me a wife. And coming back and renting an apartment and hoarding it out to the media.
Excellent. That sounds like a good plan, man. Saudi Arabia, huh?
Saudi Arabia. Maybe
It's
Pakistan.
probably the only place you could get a wife.
Probably the only place, yeah.
So what's
But
going on, man?
I saw what you were talking about, and it's more like 4 mass shootings this year, I guess. The real statistic, it was 388 that the liberal media defines as a mass shooting.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a discrepancy there.
A little bit. And I was right about I read that right about the BB gun incident? They were included in that, right? Okay.
Yeah. I think fist fights could be
right.
considered a mass incident now. But
yeah.
I guess it matters how many rounds you're firing off.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, if you're, whatever. It is what it is. We know what's up. Anyway. So, dude, James, man.
Yeah.
Do we have, well, no, actually, hey, guys, we have Dennis McKenna on tonight. The brother of Terence McKenna. Anyone should really be familiar with Terence McKenna. He's, where's that book? No, never mind. I had everything open, but I had to close out and get into Firefox. Anyway, so we have Dennis McKenna on. This will be the second time I've interviewed him.
Would you like me to go ahead and add him into the call?
Yeah, no, not yet. No, not yet. I sent him your. Did you get? Did he send you a friend request? A contact
I did.
request?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Yep. All right. I sent him your. Yeah. No, we're not. We won't be connecting with him until like 10:30, 10:35. So. But if that's all good on your end, that's cool.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, anyway, guys, I'm so far behind on the news. Like
Well, I think that this shooting dude could pretty much take up all the time.
Well, that's all I've been hearing. That's the thing, and that's all I see. Or I mean, I try not to scroll through my newsfeed on Facebook too much because it's just that's all it is.
It's really taken the steam away from what happened last week when it was all about the Russian down jet, Yeah, that's what it's really taking it away, and Planned Parenthood. But I don't think that. Right, go ahead.
I haven't been paying attention to that. I don't know about you, James. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the Planned Parenthood thing.
They have those rallies here in L.A. Weekly, so I kind of gloss over them.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's and like over in here in they're always standing out outside of the in Portland, Maine, the Planned Parent. I believe it's Planned Parenthood. Yeah, right outside. Theirs is like right in the city, so it's like it's easier for people to just go, protest. But there's always somebody standing out there with like a sign, and it's got like we actually. I was there for. I don't remember what the rally was. Oh, I think it was might have been like maybe something for like Bradley Manning or Chelsea Manning or whatever. I think it was
Chelsea
a rally.
Manning,
Yeah, I think it was a rally for that, and then we looked up the road and we saw Planned Parenthood, and then we see all these people. They got the signs, and there's you look at the sign, and they make everything look so awful. They got like these. They're showing show the pictures of the aborted fetuses and like all like mangled and stuff like this, and it's like I mean I get the point they're trying to make, but I don't know. They're
not so graphic, maybe.
Yeah, they just seem kind of one of a kind. And then I had a conversation with the guy, and I have it all. I recorded it all. I don't know if he knew I was recording, but I kind of kept the camera up. It was, and it'd be, I don't know, but yeah. But anyway, man, yeah. So the Planned Parenthood thing, I guess I don't know, man. I personally, it's not like a big, to me, it's not a huge pressing matter right now. I mean, to me. I know other people apparently feel different about that.
I think it should be left solely to women to decide, not, it's not a penis decision.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. I
don't think that you're going to do anything about it, though. I mean, it's ultimately always going to be a female decision. Even if you outlaw it, it's ultimately going to be a female decision.
Oh, yeah.
You got to say, which would you rather have, something more controlled or something black market-ish, which is going to, take adult female lives. So therefore, you really get, pro-life isn't really going to be in the picture. Although I am philosophically against abortions when it comes to
it's same here, but right. But I just figured whatever. I mean, it's your choice. It's not right. I mean, to me, I wouldn't want to like go through with something like that. I couldn't do it. I mean, obviously, not me personally as a dude, I can't do that. But I mean. Yeah, so that's how I feel anyway. Yeah.
I just think they're wasting their time, and it is a waste of time. You know what it is? It's just something easy to bicker about, and Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
And take away from them.
And it's something catches it tugs on people's heartstrings. It's got babies involved. I don't know. It's an easy way. It's just like the whole vaccine debate. It's a kind of another thing where it's one of those easy. You have the two sides, and there's really not a whole middle ground on it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, it is kind of weird. At first I wasn't too sure about the shooting there in San Bernardino because it looked like that maybe what was going on with the Planned Parenthood was still kind of making the lines, making the news, and I thought maybe we weren't ready to change our cycle out here in the American, how Americans like to 5 to 7 days usually, and then we're gone with the story. But I think it's kind of made its way back thanks to what the media was doing today by, pretty much acting like a bunch of Black Friday bandits in that the shooter's apartment there. I mean, that was just Class A pathetic. So I think now it's starting to pick up more steam, and obviously from day one, I mean, if you didn't think it was an act, if you believe in the narrative, it's an act of terrorism. I think what we need to be careful of is saying that how they define terrorism is anything that might be Muslim-related. Anything that's, controlled violence or any type of violence towards anybody, any race, is terrorism. So when you say terrorist, are we referring to Middle Eastern or people of Muslim descent? That's what I can't stand. So if you want to call it terrorism, but don't call it not terrorism because you don't know what the suspects look like.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Well, now, liberals don't care about it.
Well, no. Well, why would they?
Well, because people are Middle Eastern, they want to be racist, and they don't want to call on. He was just James was bringing it up. People didn't report it because they didn't want to be defined as racist. Now they don't care about it because we thought it was 3 white males at first. That's what was reported, and then it became, some 90-pound Muslim bridal wife or something. And some dude that evidently was pissed off.
Well, just something seems off about it because it's almost like it's not a false flag, but they took an opportunity of something crazy happening, and now it's being turned into something else. I don't know. It has a weird smell to it.
I don't know what. You're right that you just said. Sorry to interrupt you, Derek. You just said that, James, and it's kind of funny you said that. And I think it was Coast to Coast I was listening to last night, and it might have even been Ground Zero. I don't know. But what you just said is basically what, I don't know if it was last night or the night before, but people were more looking like basically what you just said. Maybe not like a false flag, but it's being used as obviously to push an agenda, but we can't just always try. We can't always just jump to far. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I don't know. I'm just saying.
It's that saying, never let a good tragedy go to waste. I mean, that's probably what
Yeah.
Right, but that might be different if we didn't have the Pentagon report and the recent revelations of ISIS and who was behind the backing of it. Now, if you find out these people were pledging allegiance to ISIS, then technically that blood is on the Obama and key members of Congress's hands, because they started this group and it basically helped them emerge throughout the world and definitely in the Middle East. And if we believe the narrative of ISIS, which they're infiltrating the United States, that's definitely got to be on the hands. Why would Obama want that on his hands if it was a staged event? I think it's just a little bit of, I could believe it really happened, but then now we need to point the blame to who the blame should be pointed to, which would be our government, which created and helped emerge a sectarian type of radical group opposing the Syrian government. So that's who the blame should go on, if it's true.
Yeah, that's another good point.
Well, I mean, if they're not going to let a good tragedy go to waste, was it Clyde Lewis just did a show about the system called Hydra, which is this surveillance system that's going in several cities, but L.A. is the first one that took it online, so it's now up and running here. So anything that they see busting loose, they know instantly, in seconds, what's going on where, and they could always take something and spin it into something else.
It's not going to be gun confiscation. I wish the conservatives would give that up. That's not going anywhere. And if anything, if it was a conspiracy, I would say that the gun lobby's been doing these events because they're the ones who capitalize the most money-wise when things like this happen. So it's not going to be gun confiscation. What you said is right. It's going to be some type of what Democrats and Republicans usually agree on is surveillance or some type of civil liberty intrusion, but not the Second Amendment by any means.
No, I agree with that. I don't think say they're coming for your guns. No, I mean,
not coming for the guns. They'll try.
It's not going to happen.
That would end so badly. No, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, exactly. It would end horribly. Unless if they want that, hey, that's a perfect way for shit to end badly. So if they want it that bad, then they would do it. I mean, I don't put it past them.
No. He is leaving office, so maybe.
and that.
Leaving
so. Yeah. Then again, I mean, he's trying to leave on I want to say a good note. I think he thinks it's a good note. He's trying to. Well, of course, this is a normal thing. I just think it's kind of funny because, like, every time when I do, turn the TV on the news or something like that, and I see him talk, because every time I hear him, I turn the channel. But sometimes I'll I hear his voice.
CBS last night.
Yeah. So.
Well, I couldn't change the channel, unfortunately, but Nora O'Donnell, oh my God, she was all over the place, and she's a good-looking woman too. But I just didn't care to see her in that fashion. But it's just, and in the way she was saying, like, how could a housewife and a 27-year-old do such a thing? Basically trying to promote the Homeland Security to add more people to the list of domestic terrorists. Or a description of what a domestic terrorist looks like. Libertarians, 90-pound Muslim wives from Saudi Arabia or wherever she was from. So it was just disgusting. Something's going to happen out of this, that's for sure. But I think
we know it's not a false flag until we see the girl with the phone crying.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's funnier wearing a turban. In a wheelchair this time, though, because it was a disability home.
Yeah, she's blowing her cover, so we got to add a wheelchair, or at least some crutches.
Yeah, damn, woman, you're so omnipresent.
Oh shit!
It's sad to laugh about it.
I know. I can't help it though. Sorry. Anyway,
that's basically what was going on, for the last couple of days. What was going on before? Can you really remember? No, not really.
No, because that's that, and the whole Donald Trump making fun of a handicap.
No, I can remember there was lawsuits being filed against Monsanto. Finally, that was big news. There was all sorts of stuff going on, yeah, and then kablooey.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
Well,
So you're saying that
perfect timing.
Syngenta and Monsanto are behind this now? That's the next conspiracy.
Well, I mean, it makes you wonder who stands to gain. There's an easy way to figure out who's behind a conspiracy. One, who gained financially by it. Two, who had the power to remove the security at the most crucial moment.
Yeah. The other thing is just the drills, I guess. That's the other thing about this. It's too coincidental, I think, but I mean, if it's really happening, it's a weird fucking story for it to really happen, you know? And I don't know, something doesn't seem off about it that it didn't happen, but something's off about the whole story. Maybe they let it happen. Who knows?
Well, the lawyer's giving this impression that, there were two guns, like 9mm in the house, and by the time the FBI left, you got a whole armory stockpiled in there or something. But, I mean, that's the lawyer talking, so
right.
That's just what... And maybe he's telling the truth. But, see, he was also being a mouthpiece for the gun lobby, this attorney. So he just may be saying that, or like you were just talking about, to stir up fear about, oh, they're going to take our guns and blah, 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 blah. The old Alex Jones routine. So,
right.
I don't believe it. Look, I come from a media family, and growing up as kids, we were told don't believe anything you hear and half of what you read. And I treat each day with everything I see in media in one way or another, print, radio, television, with that philosophy. And the same goes for the alt media, because the alt media is worse, because you get people who snake their way in, who are glorified crystal salesmen, who are not credentialed, who do not have a background or experience in what they claim they do.
Just making websites for revenue, and they're
that and trying to get famous and do the Hollywood thing. And no.
No. You're absolutely right though,
and it's like we've forgotten as journalists how to vet. Whatever happened to vetting?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, well, you have to be careful because there's two sides of this, I mean, of course, you got your sensationalizers out there, your Joneses, who's actually, all right, so what happened before the shooting? The big news for him was he had Donald Trump on his show, and he was all orgasmic about that. For someone like him and Mike Ribeiro and other people, I don't get why they're so infatuated with Donald Trump. But
I don't know that's when I had Ribeiro on, dude. I was just like,
should ask
because Trump is saying all the things that they fantasize about saying, but are afraid that they would lose listeners or advertisers. That's what they see in Donald Trump.
Yeah. But I mean, Rivero to me is the most striking one.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. It's like that's the weirdest one of all. It's like he's not normally, but then he was also like kind of the whole Russell Brand thing. He was he likes Russell Brand too, which strikes me as odd.
And he kind of has partial with Bill Maher too.
I can't stand Bill Maher.
I love Bill Maher. Why?
I like him for what he is. I like him for what he is. I don't ideally agree with him all the time, but sometimes he says some things.
Yeah.
But I just don't get it. Well, I guess we have to move on past the story. I mean, but I did send you like a little. I'm trying to get back into this writing thing on my phone, man. But one of the things that I watched on CBS, I do it for fun sometimes, is that I was watching this, and they had a segment on how to talk to your 6- and 7-year-olds about mass shootings, and then they did one about terrorism. And I was just thinking, I never recalled a conversation I wanted to have with my kid about mass shootings.
Just let him watch Scarface, and that'll explain it. God.
Yeah, well, I mean, unless they were directly involved in it or somehow managed to witness it, why would you ever bring that up? You're too busy teaching them the innocence of life and the crucial elements of life, not mass shootings. What are you trying to do to these damn kids, We're trying to brainwash them already from CBS. And I just thought that was so odd.
No, I mean, hell, now they provide the schools with those bulletproof like blankets. Have you seen that?
No.
You haven't seen that? It's like, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was real. I don't think it was sarcasm. I think it's like someone actually went and invented they're just bulletproof blankets like a school. It shows the kids in the hallways like demonstrating it, and they're all in the hallway up like on the floor in their lockers, and they got the bulletproof. It's not really a blanket. It almost looks like a mat, like a freaking like an exercise mat type of deal. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I can believe it.
It's so like, wow.
Well, in Texas we had tornado drills. Here in California they had earthquake drills. Everywhere you got a drill, you know. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I thought. That's how we taught them, was drills. I mean, those are all the time now. I mean, sometimes I mean, give the kids a warning and they scare the hell out of them.
Right.
I just thought that's such a CBS and corporate media thing to do. How to talk to your kids about terrorism. I'm like, don't give them that talk. They'll never go back to school and respect authority ever again. Yeah, and then they'll be looking at their president and all the presidents they've been learning about. But we'd have to be honest about it, of course.
Well, it seems to me that of all the media out there right now, CBS does seem to be taking the most liberties with all of the fear culture going on in the mainstream media right now. Because Fox, you can forget it. MSNBC's more like, you know, happy-ass playtime, and CBS at least still, and I speak as a kid of a CBS family, they at least still seem to have the majority of their shit together. So,
well, have you watched the evening news? I mean,
yes, it's a train wreck. I agree, but I don't know. They took the idols and smashed them. You know, that's all I know to say about it.
Yeah, I just, ever since that Putin interview, I just lost all respect. I mean, how disrespectful can you be? You have somebody to do an interview and you chastise the person. When we all know, if you're paying attention, that Putin's no freaking saint. But I mean, geez, in this affair with Syria, he's right, and they refuse to believe it, or they refuse to sell it
because he's over there cleaning up something that we've been claiming to for like a decade now, and he's doing it in seconds.
So much quicker. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. But I just thought it was an embarrassing 30 minutes and a waste of my life that I'll never get back. But it's no different than CNN, NBC, and I mean they're all pushing that emotional envelope anyways, and interviewing first to get the interview of this victim and that victim's family member and that witness, and even if it's not even correct, even if they just had to plant the person there, they'll do it. Cell phone girl,
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, Russia's economy seems to be booming. Putin seems to be quite popular, and he seems to be a pretty sharp leader. I mean, I've searched the media over for things to try and dog on him with, and I honestly can't find anything. I mean, it's like everything the man does makes sense, and it's like the right thing to do, and that's crazy considering we're talking about Russia when we used to have such strained relations not that long ago. But I don't know, they're doing something right over there, and it's working, and I don't know. It's right now Russia actually sounds like a pretty damn good place to live if it wasn't so freaking cold.
Yeah.
You don't like the cold, do you?
No. You freaking lumberjack.
I do. It's not like I like the cold.
Whatever, you're a lumberjack.
I hate it. I was a lumberjack today.
There was a positive, I guess, story actually before the teenager that was killed in Chicago by the cop that had all these complaints against him.
Hold on,
I guess they fired the police chief.
James, check your Facebook message or your Skype message.
Yes, I just got your thing to check the thing. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead, Derek.
It said the police chief of Chicago, the protester going there, I guess he was fired, and now they're calling for Emmanuel's job or something along those lines. But that, because like my father was saying, if you're gonna blame the cop, who the hell kept him on the force? If you had all these complaints, I mean, he was trigger happy. You got to blame somebody from higher up too. So by firing them, I mean, at least you know that something's getting done when it comes to demonstrations. Some voices are being heard. So I think that's a positive.
Yeah,
to a negative story.
Well, with the, Rahm Emanuel, I don't know if you know, but his brother is Ari Emanuel, who Ari in Entourage is based on. Ari Emanuel is the head of William Morris Endeavor, the biggest agency in town.
Okay, all right, yeah. I think that he was on, because he wrote a book. Jeremy Piven wrote that book recently, and he was on something. I think he brought that up. Have you read that book? And
the other brother is Ezekiel Emanuel, and he's, oh gosh, what is he? He's like a big top brass with the Center for, what is it, Cancer? No, something, National Institute of Health or something like that. So it's almost like the Koch brothers. You've got these brothers who are in these tremendously high places of power, mayor of Chicago, head of the largest agency in Hollywood, the Institute of whatever health, pardon me on not knowing the exact verbiage, but, you get the point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, getting him out of there is not going to be easy. And it's probably from something that he did to take the heat off himself anyway. So, I mean, obviously, he's the one who would fire the police chief. But I think people would want him to take a step down himself. I mean, obviously, it's not working out in Chicago. It's a very violent place. So, you got to look at who's running it.
Well, Chicago's always notoriously been a mafia family. I mean, Jack Ruby brought the mafia from Chicago down to Dallas.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, Chicago the musical was pretty historically accurate, and all the rest of the gangster stories and the famous shootouts and everything else, it's always been that way. I would never want to live. I mean, no offense to Chicago, but to hell with that. I did Minneapolis, and that was close enough, and pretty much one and the same in my opinion. So never mind all that business. I like sunny Southern California.
I bet you do, you bastard.
Well, then move here, you bastard.
Yeah, you know what though, dude? We haven't got any snow over here yet, which is kind of weird.
Oh, but you will.
Well, we got traces of it though. We got teas of it up here in Skowhegan. It was snowing, but it didn't stick. So,
oh yeah. Huh.
So therefore,
snow. That's that stuff they have up in Big Bear, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, snow.
That's why it's kind of wet and slippery. You can ski on it.
What are you describing here, Chris?
I can't tell you.
What he usually describes every show.
It's wet and slippery.
A pocket pussy?
Many things can. What? the fleshlight. Joe Rogan used to. That used to be. I remember listening to the Joe Rogan show, and he started up with his sponsors, Fleshlight.
This could have all been.
It's just
San Bernardino shootout could have all been avoided if he would have invested in a fleshlight instead of going over and finding himself a wife that radicalized him.
Well, you know that UT Austin had that protest there about the gun. It was anti-gun, is what it was. So the slogan was "Cocks, not Glocks," and everybody was carrying around giant dildos in their backpacks and everything. It was pretty hilarious, especially for Texas. So,
Cocks, not Glocks.
That's clever.
I think I caught that hashtag somewhere.
Well, I mean, if I got mad at you, Chris, it would be far less deadly to just beat you in the face with a cock than to shoot you. So,
it's true.
I mean, it's a valid point.
Very valid point.
I'd rather you just shoot me. Just end my life. No.
To end my life. Don't fucking fleshlight me to death.
Yeah. Beat you with your fleshlight.
Oh, God. I hope you rinse that thing out.
Oh, that's so
Yes,
gross.
Chris washes all his fleshlights in the dishwasher.
Their dishwasher's safe, man. They gotta be. Can't throw the... Never mind.
That's where some of the dirtiest diseases lie. Now I know why.
Man.
That's why you push that button that says sanitize. Jesus. It's Chris.
Yeah.
Well, over in, what is it, like China, Japan, or wherever it is, they have those little stations. Have you seen those?
No.
It's kind of messed up, and it must be Japan. It's got to be Japan. It sounds like something that would be happening in Japan. But it's like you've seen those little I think they make them for Kindles and stuff. So you watch your porn. It's like a little you have to have seen it. Anyway, there's like these little stations, and they're like little porn stations. They almost look like a little ATM, except you watch the porn. And
those are called booths.
Yeah.
And they call them arcades.
Well, whatever it is. I don't know, dude. We don't got that shit over here. But it's like a booth. It's like, I don't know, man. That can't be too sanitary. Well, that's
and that's where you will find some of your most prominent businessmen and politicians in those arcades and sticking their dicks in the glorios. There's some dirty business going on in those. They usually, and then they have the strippers, and you can jerk off through the glass and stuff like that. Yeah, I know. You got those in New Hampshire, dude. I think you even got one in Waterville, Maine. Treasure chest.
Treasure chest.
Treasure chest too. Yeah, you must have known that. Well, I've seen you going in there once. No, that wasn't you. That was the other.
Probably to pick up some stuff to clean my piss with. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know that's where they're.
Yeah, that's where I used to get that for the drug tests. I don't know what the hell it was. It didn't work. I still failed it.
Like gimmick, yeah. They test for that stuff now. So
it's way hard now. It's way hard now. Yeah, definitely. They're testing for all that stuff. It's crazy. It's insane.
It's insane. Wow, we went from shootings to friggin' glory holes. Wow, fleshlights.
Fleshlights.
What, you will get on the show?
Well, it's because that's what goes through his mind most of the time, so that is what we get.
I just thought it was funny, dude. You guys, you brought it up, dude. It just reminded me of Joe Rogan's advertisement at the beginning of his show. I just thought it was funny to open your show with a fleshlight. I don't know, man. Sorry. I think it's hilarious. I would totally advertise for that.
Oh, yeah.
Lost in Transmission.
Anything
brought
sex.
to you by Fleshlight.
Well, why don't you do that on the website, man? Because anything sex-related sells.
No way.
Yeah, Chris, you should get on that and make us money.
I did that through Blogspot, the scam AdSense. They would just put like random things, but then I guess I could choose a little bit about it. And I was like, Russian bride orders. There must be some horny libertarians around here somewhere, and sex ads and stuff like that. I was happy to have it on there. I didn't care. I think I made $2 once. About a month's worth of $2. AdSense.
All right, we are at 10:45. So, James, you ready to connect Dennis McKenna?
Yeah, I was under the impression you wanted to take a short break first and then bring him in.
Well, okay, that's fine. No, okay, yeah, no, we can do that. I thought that, no, it's up to you, dude. Because I have.
Well,
to,
that's what I just finished telling him in the chat box. So
okay.
I don't want to confuse him.
No. That's okay, dude. That's fine. All right, well, we'll take a short break.
Because that's what you told me.
Dude. Anyway,
it's all your fault.
It is my fault. It's all my fault. So we'll be back, everybody, with Dennis McKenna Yeah. Hello, Dennis.
Hello.
Hello. We got it. We did it.
Yeah, we did it.
I see. I see why you brought up the whole Zoom thing.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. Maybe. I don't know.
Chris has bad listening skills, so we'll remedy that. Don't worry.
Okay.
I have selective hearing, actually.
So this is audio only.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah.
We're fine now. Everything is all set.
All right.
So Dennis, I did have you on my old show, but of course, I mean, we have new listeners on here. So I guess what I could probably ask you, something I didn't get to ask you. I haven't talked much about your brother, but I'm kind of curious. Like, what was it like growing up with Terence?
Well,
I know there's probably a lot to it, so I just want to hear it.
Yeah, well, there was a lot to it. You have to read my book, right? You have to. Have you read my book?
Brotherhood of the Screaming Abyss. Yes,
yeah.
I own it.
Oh, good. Well, okay. So
I got it right. I ordered that book right after I had you on, and you suggested Psychology and Alchemy, right? By
Jung. Yeah, C.G. Jung.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I got that too, and I read that, and I might as well just tell, because you were like you actually suggested to read that before before going on a trip or something. You just thought it.
Well, yeah, it was my brother told me to read Psychology and Alchemy before I ever took LSD. I mean, that back in the day, and I ignored him, of course, but actually I could see after I took LSD, I could see why he might have suggested that. Yeah. So anyway, if you read my book, it's the first part of it. Well, it's a memoir, so the first part of it is really about our life growing up together in Colorado. We grew up in a very small town in Colorado, and it's actually a fairly nice place. It still is. But at the time, we thought it was the armpit of the universe, as teenagers will, and our agenda was to escape as soon as possible. Which Terence managed to escape when he was a junior in high school, and went out to California to live with my aunt and uncle, who were high school teachers out in Menlo Park, and he lived with them for his junior year, and then he turned out to be a what you might call a behavioral problem. So they didn't want him back, but he managed. My father managed to convince an old war buddy of his from World War II who lived down in Lancaster, California, to take him in for the next year. And so for a senior year, he finished his high school in Lancaster, California, which was not far from Edwards Air Force Base. So he escaped from Paonia, and there was a 4-year difference between. Essentially, I was going into the 7th grade at that point, and he was already gone. But we shared. I mean, we still remain close, and we shared a lot of interests even before that. And after he left, after he left Paonia, it was kind of good and kind of bad in some ways. You know, I mean, for one thing, I had my own room, which is good. But I missed him as much as he tortured me all the time and all that, being the older brother. But that's just what older brothers do, right? And it was okay. And I missed him, but it was a good. There were good aspects to it because he was out on the West Coast. He was out on the West Coast where all the ferment was, and he was at the cutting edge of change, right? And the late 60s, it was a crazy time. I mean, it was almost as crazy as these times, but in a much more positive way. And so he would come back in the summer and come back at Christmas and so on to visit, and it was like, the traveler returneth from these exotic climes, these exotic regions with stories to tell and books to tell me about, and occasionally substances for me to try. And so, we bonded over this. We bonded over that. I mean, I really looked forward to his visits and knew they were going to be exciting. I mean, it's probably hard for people to understand now, but we didn't have this immediacy of communication that we have now. I mean, we communicated with telephone calls and letters, and telephone calls were rare. I mean, to make a long-distance call, this was a big deal in the 60s, I mean, nobody ever did that.
Oh, it was as a kid just in the 80s because my mother didn't want to be saddled with the bill, so the rule was go to your grandmother's house to make the long-distance calls.
Yeah, there you go. Right. The only reason I even knew about it, long-distance calls, because my father's work, he traveled western Colorado, and so he did a lot of traveling, and he got long-distance calls, from his customers. But like when one would come in, it was like a big deal. It was like the event of the day. It was rather, Dad, long-distance call, So very different. I mean, here in this day and age, we're immersed in communications, and we're like always present to each other. I mean, I think it's interesting that, running up to the show, we have communicated by text, by telephone, by Skype, by Zoom. I mean, what else is left? There's no getting away from it.
Well, I keep two phones. I have a healthy regimen. I have two phones. They're both smartphones. One is an Android that I use essentially like an early 90s Motorola flip phone. I just dial and talk, and that's it. And there's no apps on it. I don't want all that foolishness on there when I'm trying to concentrate or take calls or whatever. And then I have an iPhone that has all that foolishness on it. So when I'm ready for that, when I'm ready for my Facebook and Skype and Pinterest and what else? Instagram, Tumblr, all those alerts and things that never shut up because it will literally ding every second and kill the battery. So when I'm ready for that, I turn that on and bring myself up to a modern day state of being.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
It's different, isn't it? I mean, it's quite strange. I mean, I am. My usual routine is after I finish breakfast, I come upstairs with a cup of coffee. I start answering email, right? But chances are there are people on one or more of these channels, right? And they start texting me, they start Skyping me with text, they start doing all these things, right? Sometimes I just have to say, go away. I'm busy. I can't deal with all this, But it is the world that we've created, So for better or worse, here we are.
Yeah, well, we're more connected than ever, and yet we're not.
We're disconnected.
It's a pleasure to talk to you, too. Yeah, no, I was just saying that we're more connected than ever, and yet we're not. Because people have their faces in their phones, and yeah, they might be talking to someone on the other side of the planet, but they're not even looking forward. So there has to be a happy balance or something.
Definitely. I mean, it's great to have all these tools, but we can get enslaved to them, and to the point where like they are running our lives. And I'm not sure what you do about that. I mean, we like the convenience, we like the ability to, instant communication, and now we have, like with Skype and Zoom and these things, we have full video and audio and so on. I mean, maybe it is that we're just going through a transition, I mean, I think there's a migration together of what you might call technos and bios. And, maybe we'll reach a point where, we're so integrated with these things that they're essentially part of us. I mean, now they're, they essentially are. I mean, my iPhone's rarely more than 3 feet away.
Yeah.
But what if it was in a contact lens that I could just look down and to the left and pull up this whole virtual reality universe? I mean, which is coming, they tell us.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Oh, yeah, no, so much of it's just like with the original Jurassic Park where they showcased all the latest technology. They did that with the new one, the Jurassic World, and that's all the stuff that's basically coming out in the next year's releases of gadgets and whatnot. But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned, but I don't want to wear... I mean, I had, like, the Casio... calculator watch, then the Casio TV remote control watch as a kid. But, I mean, that was all fun and haha, but honestly, I mean, I don't wear a watch now because to me it's just clutter. And I feel that way about all it's because it's like I leave to go out of the house and I feel like I only have so many pockets on my person and they're full of gadgets and there's not even room for my car keys. So,
yeah, right. Yeah, I don't wear a watch either anymore because I constantly break the bands and I lose the damn things. But
I break the faces. I always smack them against the door frame, and yeah.
Yeah, I always know what time it is, whether I want to or not. Yeah. Very, very strange. I mean, I think it's so we're in this bubble of communications technology and all that. And that's all great, but the problem is that that's separating us, as you say, from each other, and it's separating us from nature, and I think that's a problem, because I think part of our task, a big part of our task is to, reestablish this relationship with nature, which we've lost, not simply from technology in the last decades of the 20th century, the first decades of this century, but really it's a problem. It's a process that's taken place over the last few hundred years, maybe a couple thousand years, where we become increasingly encased in this technology, and we wall ourselves off from nature, and that's not good. I think we give up something that's irreplaceable, really, and essential.
No, that's very true. I mean, and I'm bad about it because, I mean, I absolutely love living in central urban LA hell, but there comes a time in the week where I do have to get away to somewhere scenic, beachy, or something or other because otherwise I just go crazy with the traffic and the people and the endless sounds of skateboards going down hills, and yeah, it'll get to you. So you do have to get away. But after that's done, I like to get back and there's something. I don't know. I'm a city boy. I love it. So.
Well, that's good. That's good that you can put up with it. I mean, I'm a small town boy. Basically, that was my background. But now I live in St. Paul, which is not as
the
chaotic
cities.
as L.A., I can tell you that.
Yeah, I spent time in Minneapolis. The cities, as they call them.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going into the cities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very strange. I was thinking a lot of things. I'm watching the news and just watching all this stuff go down, and our culture's reaction to all this, and our politicians' reaction to all this. It's not very encouraging, is it? I mean, it's like things are coming apart at the seams. It seems like.
Yeah, it's a catch-22 because I'm getting to the point where I feel like, okay, I was going to vote for Bernie Sanders, but he's been saying things lately that have been kind of turning me off, so I'm probably not going to do that now. And the way I look at it is like no candidate, and I've been through them all, is saying anything that I feel like deserves my vote. I take my vote seriously, and so I want to cast it as effectively as possible. Well, if no candidate is worthy of your vote, then that means you're not voting, and then if you're not voting, that means they get their way anyway. So what do you do?
Well, you hold your nose and vote for the least offensive. I mean, I'm with you. I would support Bernie Sanders. I'm not sure what he said that turns you off.
Lately, the refugee stuff. This, throw our arms open. Evidently, he's not watching news. I guess I have intelligence cables out of my old job at the EU that he does not have, because I know what's going on over in Europe, and no, it's not this poor refugee thing. No, it's young, able-bodied military-age men coming over with the sole purpose of converting or killing, and that is the truth. I'm not afraid to say it, and the media here is convoluting that in mainly the left, and I am far left, and I'm getting really tired of hearing the left suck up to that situation as much as they are, because they don't know what they're talking about. This has been going on for not even centuries, millennia, and they act like it's something new. And it's no. This Europe versus the Middle East thing is as old as time itself, and they're just playing right into it.
Yeah, I think my problem with it is that,
I think that. Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think in Europe, I think that probably in this wave of refugees, there probably are militants. There probably are people that are sneaking in that way. I think it's a small number, but one is too many, and I don't know how you prevent that. With respect to accepting immigrants or refugees, into the States, I think that way too much is being made of the dangers of it, because I do think the vetting process is quite stringent. We're only talking about taking 20,000 or 10,000, despite what Donald Trump says that we're taking millions or whatever he's saying this week. I think that it's a, I think that the risk here is much less, but it's, I don't know. That isn't really the problem. I mean, that's fallout, from this mess that we're.
That's true, and it's largely our fault for creating such a quagmire currently. Yes, but the situation being what it is, I think it's too big of a risk. I think it's playing with fire, and if you want more false flags, as the terminology goes, then sure, you know what? Have them over. Have a big old party and let the Kabbalists just have at it, throwing patsies every direction.
James, so you're coming from the far left. What do you think is the bigger threat? Okay, affording these people, that come over, or them physically threatening, being radicalized. Because I think
we've got the money.
The biggest threat is economically.
No, we've got the money.
Continue to burden our future generations with, maybe. But we don't have the money to take care of everybody and continue the welfare that we exist with throughout the world and in our own country.
Yeah, well, but the world is addicted to California money, okay? And by which I mean every computer in the world has either a Microsoft or an Apple operating system on it. So much Hollywood itself, we provide all of the entertainment of the world. So there's too much going on here, and we will always have, even if the rest of the country goes to hell, we will always have some semblance of it. That's why you make more an hour here automatically living and working in Los Angeles, because the cost of living is more. So it just... the economy, it's kind of like when they were talking about breaking California up into 6 states. The reason why that didn't happen and never will happen is because even San Francisco is addicted to LA money. So that won't work. And we've got plenty money. It's just, rich people have a clever way of pretending like they're broke all the time. You know, I grew up in a rich family. I've heard multimillionaires my entire life sit there and tell people with a straight face, I'm broke. So I don't buy that for a moment. And no, it's
down to my last million. So I'm broke, essentially. They have a different perspective on that. But yeah, I hear you. I know what you mean. That's not a world that I travel in much. I don't, so I don't know. But yeah, it's a funny thing. I don't think that the economic support of the refugees, that's not the issue. We're only accepting 20,000. If we gave them, lifetime pensions, it would be a drop in the bucket.
Look, I'm so far left that I think that there's more foreclosed vacant homes than there are homeless. I think we should give all the homeless houses. But I would have anybody else middle of the road on argue me on that. So, it would depreciate the neighborhood, and then they wouldn't take care of it, and this and that, the other. And those are viable arguments, but it's still a worthy point to make. And so, yes, I'm all for the humanitarian aspect, but unfortunately, we're at war. Whether you want to call that a false flag or a fake or a contrived war, we are at a war, and wartime is not the right time to bring in refugees under any circumstances whatsoever. I just know. Otherwise, you know what you get? You get another Japanese internment camp situation.
Well, you certainly don't want that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the solution to this is, really. I think that it's I do think one thing that Bernie Sanders does say that I strongly agree with, and other people are saying it too, is that this is not the real problem. In some ways, this war with ISIL and the refugee crisis and all that is as terrible as it is, but the real problem is climate change. And I think that this, in some ways, is unfortunate because it distracts our attention from that, which not enough people are paying attention to anyway. And
I agree. And another reason why I will probably end up casting my vote for him as the lesser of all the evils is because of the college thing. Because that's one of the reasons why Western Europe is so damn educated, is because college is free. And we would not have the same problems with ignorance over here if more people had the opportunity to walk down the street and go take courses.
Yeah, it is terrible. Ignorance and just out-and-out stupidity, especially among the right, has become almost like a badge of honor.
Yes, ignorance breeds stupidity. Yes,
science shit. This is science is a left-wing conspiracy of anti-Christian anti-evolutionists. I mean, it's just nuts, the things that you do.
I can't stand hearing that. This is the most Christian nation there ever was, and no, Christianity is not under attack because of a Starbucks cup or anything.
It is not under attack. I mean, what's under attack, unfortunately, is reason, it seems to me, and just reason and common sense. I mean, this is what's worrying, especially on the Republican side. I mean, these people wear their idiocy and ignorance like a badge of honor, and it's seriously misguided, and it's not part of the solution. And I mean, it's just not, and so. Yeah.
Well, the Republican Party, one of the reasons they're so popular and prevalent in Texas, for example, where I'm from, is what they're rooted in, their root values are elitism. And, of course, they would challenge that. Oh, no. But yes. I've eaten at the country clubs that they all eat at. And believe me, I know at the end of the day, it's all to hell with the rest of the world. We're the best. We're the winners. We drive the S-Class Mercedes. Everybody else can, go to hell. That's their attitude. And they can deny it all they want. I lived it, so I know. And that's the problem.
So this is what Bernie Sanders is talking about. So what I hear you saying is there is a war, but it's really a class war in a certain way. I mean, it is the 1%ers versus everybody else.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that's why he will probably get my vote by the default, because that's really the only way to cast it that makes sense.
Yeah, but the problem is you're not going to get the chance to vote for him, because he's not going to be the candidate.
Well, if CNN would stop fudging the numbers, I have caught them red-handed. I watched them do it before my own eyes. I have the evidence that they cooked the numbers by over 90%.
Man, I do it all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, is this your first election?
Well, I hope that's true. I mean, I would love to see Bernie get the nomination, but I'm afraid he can't, and so we're left with Hillary, which is, I mean, she would be a very bad choice, I mean, normally, but look at the other side. I mean,
well, I don't know the climate in New York City at the moment, but if it was up to the whole of Los Angeles, they would elect Bernie Sanders. That's who's winning here, and
really.
So if that says for what that's worth, I hope that gives people for him like some hope or whatever. Part of the problem has been his lack of media coverage, and I mean, I've been hanging out with some Bernie activists and everything, and they pick these obscure places to hold their things. And I look at the organizers and I go, why are you not doing this at the corner of Hollywood and Highland? What do you mean? I go, well, what do I mean? There's 9 million cameras pointing in every direction there. That's what I mean.
Well, it's pretty sad. You only have 3 candidates on the Democrat side, right? I mean, you got to get in.
Yeah, you only have 3 candidates. So
ideally, we, on the other hand, Chris and I, who philosophically and ideologically sounds like it, we disagree with you guys, but on the other hand, we know what it's like, because the person we were voting for was Ron Paul. He couldn't even get more than 30 seconds on a certain debate, whereas Bernie gets his time,
Oh yeah, the
numbers are fudge. The numbers are fudge, but everybody knows they're fudge.
Oh, yeah.
So not necessarily what CNN says doesn't mean anything. It all comes down to the groundwork, the.
Come on, Chris. Let me hear that dirty word. Socialism.
Yeah, I think that Bernie is right in saying that if young people come out, it's all about getting the vote out for Bernie. If young people do come out, and all these minorities and all this, then he's got a real shot at it, But
they don't come out. That's why Phoenix has Republican John McCain assholes for senator, because Tempe is full. That's his district, by the way, Tempe, and I've lived there, and I can tell you that it's young, it's liberal. ASU's right in the middle of it.
baby.
Yeah, you never get a conservative vibe anywhere remotely near there. And yet you look at the politics and it's all conservative. Why? Because the youth does not vote and all of the senior citizens come out of Scottsdale and they vote. So
yeah, well, that's the problem, right? You got to get young people to vote. Somehow.
We need to bring back MTV Rock the Vote.
But listen, I'm reading this book called Parliament of Whores, all right, and it's about the U.S. government. And it's published in 1991, and it says the reason people aren't interested is because government is boring. And if that was written in 1991, what do you think the nature of it is today? It's like watching,
Yes, but it's a form of apathy. Look, when you don't vote, when you give into that little "I'm not voting" monster, you're feeding the beast.
But what I'm saying is that that's how the younger generation used it. Is that they would
I understand that. I'm just simply saying that to those who would feel that way, by your apathy and you're not voting, you're playing into exactly what they want you to feel and think and do. They don't want you to take to the streets and talk about who are you voting for, let's go vote, hop in the car, we'll smoke out and go cast our ballots. No, they don't want that conversation being had by the youth of America because then, God forbid, someone actually worth a damn gets elected. So quit giving them what they want.
I'm all about voting, James. If I had somebody
I don't mean you.
Vote for. No, but I mean, I'm not going to vote. That's what I'm saying.
Well, but it seems like if you don't vote for somebody, as bad as they may be,
I don't do the lesser of two
then you kind of give away your right to complain. At least you can say, well, my vote. I've made a statement with my vote, even though it makes no difference. But and then you can bitch all you want. But if you can say, well, I don't vote
been a believer of paying taxes.
It's all terrible. I don't know. It's like. And then there's the side, the perspective that says, well, don't vote because it only encourages them. And I don't know, I mean, I don't think there's any solution really in politics anymore. I mean,
look at it this way. One good reason to vote for Bernie Sanders is he is promising to overhaul the voting system, period. The candidate selection system, the whole 9 yards, the whole system. So
yep.
I think that is the most primary thing worth investigating at the moment, politically speaking, in this country. So that's another reason why I would cast my vote for him. That and the college thing are the most intelligent things that have come out of that, or any candidate's mouth.
Yeah, agreed. And also, we've got to somehow get around this Citizens United thing because that is completely corrupted the political process even more than it was already corrupted. I mean, this is basically, if you have a lot of money, you can buy elections. That's what it comes down to, and that's what we see happening.
I'm gonna side with George Carlin, and I'm gonna quote George Carlin right now. If you vote and you elect dishonest, incompetent politicians, and they get into office and screw everything up, you're responsible for what they have done. You voted them in. You caused the problem. You have no right to complain. I, on the other hand, who did not vote, who did not even leave the house on election day, am in no way responsible for what these politicians have done, and have every right to complain about the mess that you created.
Well, what's this whole you can't bitch if you don't vote? I mean,
I don't know. We could unpack that in a number of different ways.
Pay taxes, you can vote, you can bitch all
Okay,
you want.
how many people that wanted Ron Paul went and voted for him?
I would have, yeah.
You would have?
And I think most people did. I think people that wanted him did vote for him.
Yeah, then I was okay with voting, but now that I realize that it's pointless to vote because your vote's going nowhere, and they're
That's
just going to pick who
true.
they want.
They are look. If it came down to it, they are accountable for every last one of those votes. Okay. The people still do have power. I know that right now in alt media, it's not popular to say that, but that is the truth. And you show your power with one thing, the dollar, and the second thing, your vote.
last person who just slipped in there got shot in the head. So
okay, so next time, don't take the fucking bulletproof armor off the limo. You know, this is not rocket science.
Well, you get that, yes, yeah.
So you're saying that
Hey,
when
guys,
it comes
I didn't
down
know
to
we
it,
were
James,
gonna get
it's all
into,
ultra accountable.
I did too. That's why I was just talking to somebody sent me a message, and I was like, I didn't expect any of this kind of talk with Terence McKenna tonight.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be talking about psychedelics and happy
what I
hippies
thought,
and fuzzy bunnies. And
Dennis, have you ever met Hunter S. Thompson?
I have not, but I was a big fan. I was a big fan of his.
Okay, I have a question for him. It comes from an anonymous elitist brat in the Hamptons. He wants to know if there's any truth to the top 1%ers doing underground ayahuasca sessions in New York City that reportedly Lindsay Lohan has attended.
What? Who is doing what?
An underground ayahuasca drinking sessions in New York City.
Well, there's a lot of ayahuasca being drunk in New York City, they tell me. But who is he talking about specifically, or is he? Or
I guess like celebrities getting the purest stuff there is. I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know about that, but I can tell you that there's, ayahuasca is a lot of people drinking ayahuasca every weekend. I've heard rumors that there are 100 ceremonies happening in New York City every weekend. But it doesn't surprise me. I mean, ayahuasca's got this sort of, now it's almost a fad, but it's got this global presence, and everybody. Well, did you see the movie recently came out? I think it was called When We Were Young.
I didn't.
Sounds familiar.
It was a comedy. It was about. I mean, it was kind of a silly movie, but it was about an older couple that got involved some way with a younger couple. And anyway, in the movie, they went to an ayahuasca ceremony. And this was a Hollywood movie. So, and of course, it was totally misrepresented. But I just thought, wow, when this can happen in a mainstream Hollywood movie that they depict an ayahuasca ceremony, that's crossing some kind of a threshold, I think.
I guess. How long ago was it filmed?
Not long ago. Okay. It came out earlier this year.
Hollywood's pretty debauched these days, so I don't know. That's not too much of a shocker.
Lots of ayahuasca being drunk in L.A. too, and really everywhere. I mean, that's the interesting thing about this phenomena. Ayahuasca's gone global.
God, I never get invited to these parties. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, you're just not traveling in the right circles, man.
At the right time.
I would say.
See me after class. We can say that.
There's probably one going on right now, James, and you're on this podcast.
Yeah, probably.
At least one.
Like next door.
Well, I live in the hills. Yeah, probably.
His roommate is in the living room.
So, do you guys live in the same place, or where are you? You're in L.A.
No, I'm in L.A. Chris is in some place called Maine.
Oh, quite different. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Well, what about Maine? What's the ayahuasca scene up there?
There is absolutely no ayahuasca.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. There is no scene of that. It's unfortunate that here in Maine, the scene is mostly like opiates, is painkillers, crap like that.
That's pretty dreary.
Yeah, that's basically what's here, and it's very unfortunate. So I think introducing ayahuasca would be a good idea for that.
Absolutely. Well, it's interesting because there are scattered around the country. There are a lot of little, essentially ayahuasca communities. They're there. They're not, strictly speaking, they're not legal, so they're kind of underground, but they do exist, and you'd be surprised where they exist. Like here we are in the Twin Cities in the Midwest, and I don't make any effort to monitor or be in touch with these groups because I just I am not in the loop, but I know enough about them to be able to say with confidence there's probably 4 or 5 groups in the Twin Cities, probably an equal number in Wisconsin, and so that's interesting. I don't go out of my way to find these groups or go to these places because I do most of my ayahuasca in South America. So,
well, what advice would you give to people who don't have access to it? Is there an alternative method for them to get more DMT into their brains besides ayahuasca?
Oh, sure. There are lots of sources of DMT. It's not that uncommon in plants. You can make your own ayahuasca, and you don't even have to have ayahuasca. You can make, you can use other source plants. If you spend a little time on arrowwood.org, if you know Arrowwood, you guys know that.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I was
it's
just
all
on
there.
it yesterday.
Yeah, they had just had a beautiful article about Arrowwood in the New Yorker, of all places.
Oh, really? Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, worth looking at. Arrowwood they're great people. I know Arrowwood Earth and Fire. They're doing a wonderful job. They're really good folks. They're concerned with things like accurate information, which is a rarity when it comes to drugs. They're just into providing good information about just a whole lot of psychoactive drugs, not even limited to psychedelics, and that they're really doing a service to the community in some ways. But if you go on to there and you look at the ayahuasca vaults or any of that, there's tons of information. A lot of these things you can just order the ingredients off the internet, and then brew it up yourself.
Very cool. That's good advice.
Yeah, ayahuasca is usually something that is used in a ritual context. It's good to have a social context for it, but it's not. It's not essential. I suggest that it's good to have a context and setting and all that, but that's another matter as far as being able to source the material and make either ayahuasca from the traditional ingredients or some of these analogs. That's certainly possible to get those materials.
We have a caller. Sorry, guys. Let me connect the caller real quick.
Oh, my God, we are live. What a shock. Okay, Bernie Sanders?
Do we have Bernie Sanders on the line?
Bernie.
Caller.
Hello. Oh, all right. Well, caller had their chance.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. They were on hold for like 9 minutes, so maybe they just got sick of.
I can't blame them. We were kind of raving.
Yeah, I think that's what they were. Oh. Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
This is Bernie.
You can hear me now. Is my mic? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Yeah, guys, how's it going? I would have called a little while ago. Sorry, I can't do Bernie's voice, but Yeah, you guys started talking about Bernie, and I projectile vomited all over my laptop, and I had to clean it up so I could back it up. Get a chance.
Don't even start.
Oh,
I lost
Man. You guys want to do this rock the vote stuff. You guys want kids voting, man. This is what you're going to get. Bernie Sanders. You're going to get communism. Look, dude, this isn't the whole 1950s BS MacArthur or whatever where I'm like trying to get paranoid with the communists. You got Vladimir Lenin, the crazy jerk who killed 4 million of his own citizens, saying that the goal of socialism is communism. Bernie, look, dude, socialism, communism, they're great in theory. The problem is we have control freaks who run the planet, and all the communism will do is make the job easier for them.
If you'd bother to listen to any words that come out of his mouth, you'd hear that what he's going for is more like a Denmark, Norway, Sweden type of a situation.
I've heard it. He's thinking like a child. It's unbelievably naive to think that we're going to get that and that these control freaks who run the Federal Reserve are going to let it happen. If Bernie Sanders, by any miracle, did become president, they would use it to their advantage.
You know what? We're going to elect him, and not only that, but the freaks from West Hollywood and me are going to run you. How about that?
It's good that we have the Electoral College, and they're the ones who get to decide these things, because the last thing we want is the ignorant population getting Bernie in there. Bernie, man, he's a dinosaur. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He's got his head up his ass. He doesn't know anything about economics, dude. He doesn't. Listen to him talk. He's clueless. I don't want some clueless. Look, if you're going to go...
No, he doesn't. He shuts Hillary down every time.
What, man?
Lasaki.
well, so if not Bernie, who do you...
Yeah, come on, oh wise one. Who should we vote for? Lead us, bitch.
Paul.
Come on.
Rand Paul. And that's another thing. This whole... if I go out and vote Libertarian Party... If I go out and vote for, say, Andrew Napolitano, who isn't running, which would be awesome if he was running, he's awesome.
Yeah, let's not get fantasy here. All right,
No,
he's not running. He's not even in the discussion.
Gary Johnson, all right? If I voted for Gary Johnson. That doesn't mean I don't have a right to say anything about this election just because I voted for Gary Johnson. I didn't influence the election in a negative way. I didn't influence who's in a...
At all.
30 seconds to get all your political stuff out. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Go.
I'm just saying you're wrong about voting. I can vote.
I liked it. It had some attitude. There was some debate, and there was no Wasaki mentioned.
Well, but here's the problem as I see it. You would like to be able to vote for Rand Paul. A lot of us would be able to like to be able to vote for Bernie Sanders or whoever. We're not going to get that choice, because those people are not going to get nominated, most likely. So what's most likely, we're going to be looking at either Donald Trump or Hillary, and I don't think there's much of a choice there.
Why vote at all?
Donald Trump, there's no way in hell he would make it. He can be the front runner all he wants. They're going to bring him down right before the nomination, and he's going to end up endorsing Jeb Bush. It will be Jeb Bush versus Hillary.
George Bush Jr. was president. Right. Anybody can be president.
I would not be so sure about that.
Jeb Bush is going to willingly step down and give the election to Hillary because it's her turn to sit on the throne. This is an oligarchy. We can't elect anybody. All right.
Well, I see Ted Cruz or Rubio over Jeb Bush, but I mean
that's changing. We're not. You know what? This oligarchy stuff. Guess what? You can always judge what's going to happen in the next 10 years by what's happening in LA right now. And right now, everybody's driving the electric cars and plugging in and doing the solar and all of that. So just get ready.
And apparently, they're all doing ayahuasca.
I love you, but ayahuasca nonsense is lame.
Okay, well, I want you to Google a nightclub called the Fault Line, because that's where I'm going to hog tie your ass and drop you at.
All right.
Wow, what a Texan.
Yeah. I know, right?
I know how to wrangle a bitch.
All right.
You guys are out of control.
Rough crowd.
You and your anti-Bernie. Look, is Bernie perfect? No, but give me a better argument. Come on, hit me with your best shot, Mr. Communist.
Did you see that lip-syncing video where they did a lip-syncing of him and Hillary on the stage during the debate? You got to see it if you haven't.
No, I missed that.
You have to see it, dude. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen with the lip-syncing.
I think the funniest thing is the Larry David playing him on SNL.
Yeah, that was pretty good too. That was good. I just can't stand it, man.
Anyway, so yeah. Well, thanks for calling in with your question. Your rant.
You didn't have a question.
With your rant. That's why I said rant after.
Yeah, and you're grounded, so there.
All right. Anyway, so we only got like 10 minutes left here with Dennis, so let's get back on track.
Do we have any callers with normal brains?
Were we on track? Is there a track?
Yeah, is there a track at all?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there something you want to plug after the project?
Other than a couple of things. Other than my book, which please buy it, Brotherhood of the Screaming Abyss. It's on Amazon, and then the other things are because I'm basically about psychedelics, not so much about politics, but
yeah,
I just want to tell people about the Hefter Research Institute, hefter.org. Yep. If you're interested in the research that's going on, then that's a good place to look. And most people know also about MAPS, which is much larger and much more visible. But Hefter's doing a lot of the most effective work. And, this is not irrelevant to politics. Like I told you a little while ago, I've been getting more and more disillusioned with politics. And I actually think these substances are our best chance because they have the potential to wake people up.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I agree.
Boy, do we need to be woken up.
Probably why marijuana was illegal for so long.
Oh yeah,
well,
of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on that subject, are there any good psychoactive ingredients or supplements that you would recommend taking daily besides cannabis?
Daily. People are talking. They're talking a lot about microdosing now with psychedelics, and I haven't tried it, but people swear by it. Like if you take a 10 to 20 micrograms of LSD daily, or half a gram of mushrooms daily, or whatever, people say it really boosts your cognitive function and clear thinking without really feeling high or anything. It just helps your mind work better, and I can see how that might be it.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. Yeah. I mean, as we all get older, and you guys are young, so you don't know, but as I get older, I like whatever I can do to, improve cognitive functions. I mean, I've been taking modafinil, which is interesting. It's called Provigil.
Okay, I know what that is.
You know what that is?
I've heard of that.
Interesting. It's but it's very expensive as a prescription drug, but it turns out you can get a generic version of it online. There are a number of companies. There are companies in India that you can order it from, and it's a lot cheaper. Hopefully it's as good, because that's what I've been taking.
I have a question. I got a question for you. Have you opened the bottle of Alpha Brain that Joe Rogan gave to you yet?
Yeah, I've taken one of those bottles. I still have one left. Yes.
What do you think? What do you think about it? About those?
Well, I think it's all right. I mean, I didn't notice anything dramatic, but it seemed to be. Yeah, I couldn't really tell, to be honest.
It helped me focus.
Didn't hurt me.
I guess. Yeah, right. I guess it kind of helped me focus a little bit, but I mean, I guess then it could vary on the person.
I'm finding that modafinil it's interesting because you can tell that there's an effect. Definitely, it's not like speed. It's not like a stimulant. Well, I guess it is a stimulant, but it's like it just keeps you focused, but you don't feel, don't feel jagged.
How do you spell it? How do you spell it?
I think it's called modafinil or Provigil.
Okay. So it's pro-visual stuff. The same. Okay, that's the same stuff that you're talking about. Okay.
And now there's a new version called New Vigil, which is essentially just the active isomer. It's a racemic compound. So New Vigil is, and you can find sites online that sell generic versions of it.
Awesome.
Dennis, I had a question for Dennis because Chris didn't think I would probably be able to stay on because I don't know much about the topics. But all right, because Chris mentioned that we have an opiate epidemic here in Maine, and we do. Do you have any maybe cheap or natural solutions for opiate addiction that you're aware of?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact. Well, of course, there's ibogaine, which people use to get off opiate as a treatment, right? But ibogaine is, you have to really use it in a clinical situation. It's not something that you would want to use recreationally. I mean, I guess some people do, but that they're braver than I am or more foolish than I am. I would never use ibogaine I would never use ibogaine because I'm not particularly addicted to anything I want to not be addicted to. But it is a solution for opiate. The other thing that's getting popular, which is kind of interesting, is kratom or kratom. Not sure how you say it. You've heard of that stuff?
Chris told me
kratom?
about that, I think. Didn't you, Chris? Kratom?
Kratom, K-R-A-T-O-M.
Kratom, I think it is. Is it kratom?
Kratom, kratom. I'm not sure how.
I actually, it's funny you say that because I posted on Facebook the other day about people's thoughts on it because I had someone ask me about it, and then I also have a friend. Well, Jeff who was just on ordered some. Well, he just sent me a message. He says he takes it, so. I don't know what Jeff's taking it for, but what are you taking it for, Jeff?
It's an interesting thing. It's a plant. It's a plant extract. Kratom is native to Southeast Asia. The botanical name is Mitragyna speciosa, and it contains these alkaloids, which definitely are opiates. They hit the opiate receptors. But what they don't do is cause respiratory depression, which is what kills people. That's what you die from when you overdose on heroin. And I have heard that a lot of people who are dependent on OxyContin or they're hooked on OxyContin, all these horrible prescription opiates, they are using kratom as an alternative. It's not as instead of turning to heroin, they get kratom, and it works. It's an opiate, but it's not going to kill you because it doesn't have this respiratory depression effect. And people are also using it to taper off. They can use it kind of like methadone. They can use it to slowly taper off. So I think kratom is pretty promising, and somebody should look into it as essentially a botanical alternative to methadone.
Right.
Which is not ideal, but and it's legal. It's legal still. They haven't banned it. They may try to ban it. But one of the things is, there really is no evidence that people are not going to emergency rooms around this. People are not dropping dead around this, so they can't really make a case that it should be banned. It isn't really a drug abuse problem, however they want to define that.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I would say. Kratom is worth looking into.
Thanks. Hear that, mate?
Yes, definitely. It's Kratom.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, Dennis, we are coming to the end of the show.
Yeah. Again, Arrowwood has a lot of information about kratom, I'm sure.
Yes, Arrowwood. That's all you got to do. Just go there. Everything is there. It doesn't matter what you want to look up. It's all there. That's one of my favorite websites. It really is. It seriously is all there.
Yeah.
All right, so we are to the end. We are to the end of the show, Dennis. We appreciate you coming on again, and hopefully the next time we get you on, we're not going to talk about politics.
Well, next time, it'll all be over by then. We'll be talking about more important stuff.
I'll wait, man.
Or everything will have gone to hell, and we won't be able to have conversations.
That could very well be the first thing to happen.
All right. All right, gentlemen. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Likewise.
Good to talk, and let me know when you have the podcast up there.
Yes, I will send. I will send.
Blog Talks is available like usually immediately after, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll put it on. We'll just get it. James would put it on YouTube, right?
Yeah, we clean it up and do a little Hollywood on it, and then stick it on a YouTube archive. So it, probably sometime tomorrow.
Do I have the chance to? May I make one more plug?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Is there enough time? Okay. Well, you mentioned Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan just recently had Graham Hancock on.
Yep.
A great podcast. If you haven't listened, really excellent. But I'm bringing Graham Hancock here to the Twin Cities, and he will be here a week from tonight, actually. He's giving a talk, and if you go on Facebook, if you look at the Brotherhood of the Screaming Abyss group on Facebook, or if you just go on, if you look up Graham Hancock or Evening with Graham Hancock, Twin Cities, the information is there. So those people in the Midwest, if you want to have an interesting evening, this is going to be happening. I'll text you the link once we get off the phone here. I'll send you the link.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that'd be great. I don't know if the show reaches into the Midwest, but people in the area, please come out.
Oh yeah.
We'll have a great time.
We're all over. We're all over the United States, so I'm sure there's people listening out there.
All right.
Well, thanks for coming on, man.
Well, okay.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Look forward to listening. All right.
Oh,
bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay.
Good night. Bye-bye. Let's see.
I almost just opened up another Red Bull, but I decided not to.
Oh.
Probably wouldn't be a good idea. It's almost midnight here. It's only like 9 o'clock over where you are, buddy.
Yeah, nice just getting started.
I know. Nice just getting started, yeah. That's that Maine accent that I'd break out.
And all we do is party all the time here in LA, so, where the fuck are you?
And apparently, here in Maine, all we do is cut wood and drive our tractors and go mudding.
Yeah, that's what I envision every time I think of your state, yeah. and lots of flannel.
Flannel.
And maple syrup.
I'll have you know that I'm quite metro, my friend. I'm quite metro.
So you still work in the maple syrup industry, but dress metro?
Oh yeah. I brought industry to this state. And I'll bring maple syrup to the beautiful smog city of Los Angeles.
Oh, the smog is cleaning up with all of our clean air initiatives.
We'll disco out there. How's that?
Ooh, I like to go disco dancing. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And Chris wants to watch and buy us drinks. So.
Yeah, apparently. Now I will bring the fleshlights. I supply the fleshlights.
And the Wasaki, what was it, Wasaki?
I don't know. All I know is the fleshlights are on me. I'm buying. All right, so next week, guest. I don't think we have a guest booked right now, but just go to the Facebook page, Lost in Transmission. It'll be up at some point here. Keep checking. Yeah, next Friday, 10 o'clock, 7 o'clock Pacific time, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Thanks for coming on tonight, Derek.
Alrighty, guys.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks, James.
Thank you, Chris.
I'm gonna go cut some wood.
There you go.
Uh-huh.